Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today giving you thanks and praise for allowing us to come together in this meeting room and to do the earthly duties that we have here on earth, to be able to have cool heads and promising hearts of things to come as we take care of this business that we call our county. Lord, continue to bless these men and the people that come into this office and into this room, that they have clear heads and open minds and bold hearts. Hearts of gold, and that gold is for you, Lord. Jesus, continue to bless these men, bless these people, and all that they do to continue to keep our government and our county going, that you let them make the right decision and make those decisions be in your name. In the holy name, in Jesus' name. We just love you, we thank you, we cherish you for the opportunity to be here and to serve you. In your holy and precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, for public comments, we have two today, Minnie Brown and Robert Brown, whichever one would like to go first.
I wanted to address something that one of the commissioners asked Sheriff Wade last month after the meeting closed. Why can't she just shoot the dog? Well, sir, as I can't go into all the details because the owner has chosen to sue me for $250,000, I can say I was advised by Randy Ford's chief deputy to do just that, and did to one of them. And though Randy Ford stated that we were both responsible for what happened to that dog, he chose to charge me with a felony in August of 2022, and the owner was charged with nothing. While being booked into the jail, I was told the only reason I was arrested was to shut the owner up. Then after being attacked again just a few days later, Randy Ford threatened me with felonies for retaliation if I continued to report these dogs and the owner for breaking the law. Thankfully, the DA rejected the charge May 17th of 2023, but not before it cost my family nearly $10,000, and that doesn't even begin to account for the emotional and mental anguish it has caused. My children were bullied so severely that they had to be removed from Roby ISD for their safety. We didn't move here to stand out. We moved here in hopes to be a part of what we thought was a nice, quiet community, but it has been anything but that. All because we asked for the laws to be upheld, our children not to be attacked by dogs, and our property not to be desecrated. Now I have had to go above and beyond to chase down city ordinances and laws that no one wanted me to find. I have even gone so far as to contact the Texas Rangers, who Wade said are currently investigating the Sheriff's Department, all in hopes to get anyone in this county to uphold the laws that were set in place well before we moved here. And still, nothing is being done. I keep being told my situation is unique or one of a kind. I call BS. How is asking for the law to be upheld unique? I will tell you what it all boils down to: small town politics and entitled lawbreakers and family members who have deep pockets. On October 12th, while trying to retrieve copies of calls that I had made to the Sheriff's Department, Wade tried to intimidate me, telling me I was making enemies all over town because I had spoken with the newspaper, also requesting public information and asking questions that people in this town didn't want asked. We refuse to be intimidated by these lawbreakers or by a sheriff who holds no Texas peace officer license and has been on the Brady list since November 21st of 2016. I will not stand silently. I will continue to stand up for myself and my family until someone decides to do the right thing, however long that might take. Fisher County deserves better law enforcement. I encourage any and all who have been wronged, threatened, or intimidated by past or current to reach out to the Texas Rangers, help them with their current investigation. contact Company C at 806-740-8975. Ask for Phil Vandegrift. Fisher County deserves better. Thank you.
Ray, do you have anything?
Yes. About these dog situation here, I went out to take garbage to the dumpster. Had a dog 4 foot away from me growling, and I know if it's gonna bite me. Do I have the right to put that animal down since we got a sheriff's department? It will not take responsibility for these animals on the loose. I have neighbors beside me, in front of me, that keep their dogs inside a fenced yard just like I did. I spent $10,000 to ensure that my animals stay on my property and do not run wild. If an animal bites me on my property, I'm gonna put it down. The sheriff's department don't wanna take any kind of responsibilities for these animals, then they don't have no right coming to me or my family trying to prosecute or arrest me. Does that make sense? If they're not gonna control it, then they don't have no rights to. Another thing is, right there on Lawrence Street, the speed limit. You know, we got kids at the high school on the track team that run that road. And we got vehicles coming in the road, you know, 65, 70 miles an hour. Do you want, you know, I don't want my child to get run over because somebody's not paying attention, doesn't slow down. I ask if maybe y'all would take it into consideration and look at that speed limit right there. I like to address the sheriff myself on his conduct with my wife. I don't know if this is a place to do it, but, he holds a title that he does not have the right to bully a male or a female, or try to intimidate anybody. That's all I've got.
Thank you. We'll move to the consent agenda. Senior Citizens Amelia is here.
Good morning. For the month of November, the senior center served 1,053 meals to homebound clients and 43 to congregate clients, with a total of 1,096 meals for the month. Alright, thank you.
Extension office, Mr. Dixon. Not here. That's right. Gambling. Treasurer's report, Ms. Parks.
After bank reconciliations, the county's funds ended with $6,484,857.46. That is with a gain of quite a reasonable amount of interest, so $20,584.84. Just wanted to make note of that for you guys. That's all I have for the treasurer's report.
Thank you. Ms. Mullin, auditor's report.
Yes, sir, the commissioner should have got a copy of the monthly report and also the bills, and I think Dexter had a question about one of his bills, and that's what we were looking at. I'm gonna give that to him right quick, so he can look at it. Caterpillar, Ricky called him, is what that was. Lone Star Truck Group, but we pay Interstate Holding is who it goes to.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what it is now? Okay, okay. Yeah, anytime I
I
ask.
thought it was Lone Star Truck Group, but Interstate Cleveland Loop.
And then also on that invoice file listing, there was one, we didn't have a copy of the Coker Farms Coochie bill. We got it on the internet, printed off the email, but we couldn't print it out, but he finally brought it and I gave her a questions about the bills.
All right, thank you. Law Enforcement Center, Sheriff Wade.
Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning, Commissioners. Last month, we had a total of 124 calls, 35 EMS, 4 for DPS, 3 for fire, and 82 for the Sheriff's Department. Right now, we've got a total of 5 inmates in Scurry County, and we'll be picking up another inmate tomorrow who was arrested in Taylor County. We were able to pick up Bobby McNulty, who was out on a warrant. We'll bring him from Taylor County tomorrow and book him in and transfer him to Scurry County. As far as the law enforcement center and the jail goes, as soon as I can hire 2 more people and get them trained, we're ready. The refrigerator has been repaired as you guys approved last month. The building's ready to go. We're excited to hire some additional motivated people, train them, and get going. Your Honor, to save the court some time this morning, I'd like to request that agenda items 18, 20, and 21 be removed. I improperly submitted those, and so I'd like to just scratch those. Barring any questions, that's all I have, gentlemen.
18, 20, and what?
18, 20, and 21, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. That's all I have, gentlemen.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Thank you. That's all I have for the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. Second.
A motion second, all in favor? Unanimous pass, motion carried. All right, new business, conflict of interest, Ms. Malden,
And we don't have any, Judge.
budget amendment, line item transfer.
No budget amendments?
All right, brings us to item number 4, the burn ban, gentlemen. What's your pleasure on that?
Pretty dry out there, I'm calling.
Ought to put it back on. I think, y'all got anything on these burn? No problem with that.
No,
We didn't have
it
it.
probably needs to until the rain.
I'm gonna make a motion to reinstate the burn.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carried, unanimous pass. All right, item number 5, special revenue, Ms. Malden.
No special
No
revenues.
special revenue, you don't wanna participate.
I do not.
All right, item number 6, discuss and approve quote 21,800 for handicap route provided accessibility at the west entrance of the courthouse using ARPA funds. Ms. Parks.
Your Honor, I may have to kind of skip back to that one. Randy went to go get Lance Green's quote. I thought Lance Green was gonna be here today, but I guess something came up where he was unable to come. But I do have his quote. Randy, like I said, is going to make a copy of that, so can we move to the next 2, which are also mine, and come back to number 6, please?
We can.
So.
This would be number 7, discuss and approve changes to overtime pay.
Yes, gentlemen, I, came to you last month with this one in court, regarding the ladies of the courthouse that are currently.
That's what you're looking for there.
Yes, it is, yes, I'm sorry, I didn't realize, I guess Joy made y'all copy, so you already have it in your pocket. Your,
Sorry for
but,
interrupting.
that's okay. Sticking to the overtime, again, gave each one of you, I emailed to you, and I also gave you a hard copy of the overtime, that has been paid, by the county over fiscal year 2023 and, so far for 2024. The top portion, lists the offices overtime that has been pushed to comp time instead of being paid out, which currently it's all the ladies. Micah, I believe, requested to have some actual numbers. As you gentlemen see, it's not a lot. But I would like to request that we possibly go across the board and pay an overtime out to all, instead of part of them being comp time and part of them being paid out.
Would this also put us in compliance with state regulation, you know?
That's correct.
I would make a motion that we do it, but with that being said, on that motion, that we, far as the funding, there's no additional funding going into it, it's gotta be taken out of each department's part of the overtime to be paid.
I agree with that. Didn't we have a fund we set back, 2,000 here a while back, a couple years ago or something like that for overtime in the courthouse?
It was discussed, but I don't believe, Becky, was it ever?
I don't think we
I
ever
don't
did
think,
that.
I know each one of your precincts, y'all's part-time line item was changed to be part-time and overtime, and y'all increased y'all's to 22,000 for each department, to be utilized in that way. Now, I know precinct 4 has barely used many of those funds. Precinct 3 has rarely used any of those funds. While precinct 1 and 2 have used it quite a bit. So I don't know where how to balance the table, there. I do know that there, in the overview that I made of the budget, there might be a little fat some places that could be trimmed to accommodate for this possible 4,000. Now, in the county clerk's, office, it might need to be a little bit more because I do know she's gonna have some elections.
Don't factor into mine, I can take care of mine. I have designated fund, I'm good.
She has designated funds, I
And
guess.
then
that she can
and then
pull those.
usually my girls, it's not a problem, except elections, and that's a totally different animal, and so we have a different line item for that. You know, so, I don't wanna be figured into this. I mean, I want my girls to get, if my girls,
Well, it's
My-
something that really needs to get addressed when we do our budget
Yes.
works at the end of
yes,
the year,
but
that's why.
but
if we
I
were to
have
do-
two people that I don't want mine to be a burden for everybody else. But the local government code does say that we must, it doesn't say may, must be the same.
But right now, we need to do it for the compliance
Yes.
issue, but
Yeah,
it needs
but
to stay
mine-
within the budget of
Yes,
each department
yes,
by doing it,
yes,
not going over their
yes.
budget right now.
And we will, and I mean, my girls will do that. I mean, I don't want mine to, I'm not saying that they will get their overtime, whatever, but they usually don't build up a whole lot of comp time.
That being said, I'm gonna second Mr. Evans' motion there.
Would you restate that, Mr. Evans, how you want that worded?
The motion would be to instate this to get us within state compliance, but within that, on the, time being paid, that it be kept within each department's budget that was set for the year.
Preston, you have a second that?
Yes, sir.
Have a motion, second, all in favor? Unanimous, passed.
Okay.
Motion carries.
So I'm gonna have a question here on that one. So payroll is a number we can't adjust in any way normally, so we would have to pull that, I guess, from our supply budget or something like that. I'd like to define that into a line item, so that way, as it's utilized within this year, it can be brought to the attention of the budget when budget season comes, as a segregated line item.
And that's fine, but it's something that needs to be addressed at budget
Right,
time and not
correct.
after budget's set and then come in. And
Correct?
now we're trying to readjust because nobody put in for budget prior when it was
Correct.
emailed out.
Yeah, cause it was just brought to my attention that we were not complying 100% or doing it for everybody.
Ms. Parks, which way do you wanna move?
Okay, well, then let's move now, sir, to the quote that was given by, Green's Concrete,
Item number 6.
number 6. I think Lance had originally given a verbal, but I asked him to come in and give us an actual written, because I'd like to see us use our west door as our main entrance. And in order for us to be able to do that, we need to make it handicap accessible. And the reason I'm requesting that is I see elderly people, they don't see the sign. They make it up with their walkers all the way to the door, and the door's locked. Brandy and I know I've seen others in the courthouse. If we catch it, we open the door and let them come on in. Cause it's hard for them to go, oh, the door's locked, and go all the way back down. and then try to drive around and find a parking spot to come in these side doors. So in an effort to make it where our actual front door is our front door on the west side, and make it easy accessible for the public, I request that we accept this concrete bed from Lance Green to make that wheelchair ramp, to make it easy.
And this is a
accessible.
big, I'm gonna just speak up, this is a big problem.
It is.
It is a big issue, and it is not fair to the public that they have to go around, and they really should not be pulling up in here.
And then having to try and back out.
And you have to back out, and you have to back out into the street and into where people come flying around this corner. It is a horrible situation. We need to either open all our doors again. We still need the handicap ramp in the front, and I think we need to open all our all our darn doors again, because this is stupid. We don't have the metal detector set up, we don't have a guard out there. If somebody was to come in and shoot up the place, they could come in and shoot it up through that door as well as any of the rest of them, and all we've done is make it hard on our people, our voters, our citizens, our people that come up here, because any door they come to, there's no sidewalk. You have to go all the way back to the parking lot and then walk all the way around. And everybody complains, and they come to my office complaining, and I let them in this door. I have to show them where to go, and I don't mind doing that, but some of those people barely make it to the office as it is, and then they're being told they have to go all the way around.
And
we're here as a public service. This is what we're here for, guys.
Why was it done originally? This was prior to me.
Back in 78 or 9.
Well,
No, I'm talking about
shutting it,
our
closing.
entrance, where we are now.
it was made that way because that was the only way to
That was courthouse
access.
security to back up, that was courthouse security from the government. Since we can't man it, we had to have one entrance.
Right.
The reason that one entrance was done, that was the only one that had handicap access.
So, but my,
But as far as state compliance is why we have one
Right.
entry.
but,
So to stay in state compliance, we can't take it to multiple entries.
but I know a lot of courthouses that have, because we're still not in state compliance because we don't have the metal detector set up anyway. So if we're gonna not have the metal detector set up and have somebody,
But we're not over state compliance, Pat, that's the whole thing.
You can't.
but we're not in.
But we could move the door it's at, correct?
Yes, we could.
That would be the easiest.
That's the easiest way to do
I'm
it.
gonna make a motion to approve Green Concrete to do the entryway over on the west side.
I will second that.
But, let's make sure we got this all down. So the way I'm looking at this picture, we got the steps there in the guardrail. We're gonna put a slope on one side and we're gonna have steps on the other side. The original steps are gonna stay there, or they're gonna be tore out and replaced.
Well, he split it probably.
He's
Leave
gonna
them, we're just
split
gonna
it.
tear out the right side of the guardrail, put them
Yeah.
around there and leave the left side, the old concrete.
Yeah, and then he'll have to make a landing with concrete too
Yeah, for the
them
next
to
step.
come
Not in
in.
the parking lot yet.
And, I mean, this is not only a compliance, but this is a safety issue too. I mean,
But the main
I'll tell
parking
you,
lot, they need to
on
be in
election
versus
day,
the
I
road.
saw a couple come up those stairs and a lady almost tousled with a boulder, so.
And that's gonna be the same guardrail, we're gonna put a new guardrail up there in this deal, or, and they separate them, or,
It says handrails on here.
it
Yeah.
says it, I didn't know if
Yes,
we're gonna use all one, or we're gonna put a new one in there,
They'll have to put one all the way to the door.
yeah.
all the way to the door, even on up to,
Yeah, they'll have
Sidewalk,
to
yeah.
stay in compliance and then,
alright.
yeah, and also I'm gonna add to that motion to pay for it out of the parking.
Alright, you got a motion and a second, I guess?
Yes.
All in favor?
Everybody, okay.
Motion carried.
Thank you, Jim.
Item number 8, Ms. Parks, discuss approved PTO and vacation policies for Hannibal.
Okay, and, on this one, I also brought this one to the court last month. So this is a repeat, to you gentlemen, hopefully y'all have some time to talk about it amongst each other maybe, and or some of the other employees. I know a couple of you have talked to me a little bit about it, and I still feel that, consolidating it all into one would be an easier option, at least for us to
Well, they already get combined
Maintain.
lead with you.
and this would be the last piece I would like to amend for our employee handbook so that I can do an updated handbook in January to the court.
Pleasure.
Okay.
The attachment to that paper that's on your desk is the current handbook page. The top is the proposed change, to change it to paid time off instead of PTO and vacation.
So,
And this would, to explain this a little further, this would allow the employees to begin earning per payroll, time off benefits. I would like to put an inclusion, in there that the employee has to be employed by the county at least 6 months before they're able to use such time as an incentive, for them to stay working for the county, not just get paid time off and immediately start using it.
And this was implemented by Hill County and a couple others too.
Yes, I gave you gentlemen that.
Yeah.
Every county around us is doing different. If you look through what I gave you before, in the comparisons, very few were the same. Some are totally, Scurry County does 1,440 hours total time, which is way high. I know Nolan County has a sick and a vacation. They don't do PTO. Jones County is the same. Haskell. I've looked at several.
Makes it a lot easier for everybody to keep up.
Yeah, when we're getting timesheets for payroll, I can't tell you how many times, the very last payroll actually, we did right after court, and there was somebody that put down to use PTO time, but they didn't have any PTO time, they only had vacation time. And there was also someone that put down vacation time that didn't have any vacation time, they only had PTO time. So we're having to adjust those timesheets. I just think it would be simpler for them if it was all in one basket.
And I've run into this with an employee this past year because of not understanding how everything was set up on it, to where basically they had nearly 2 months off. I had to figure out how to put it into play this summer.
We've had the same kind
Now,
of stuff happen.
this would cap, they would be able to, if you see in the column it says paid time off max, that would be the maximum based on their length of time with the county that they would be able to carry. So if use it, don't lose it would come into effect, but it would be on them versus right now our current policy is on PTO, you have to use that time by December 31st or you lose it. This would put it more to the employee themselves to use their time so that they can earn more time. The longer they're with the county, the more time they earn. It's also an incentive for them to stay working for the county and get that added benefit to their employees.
so you're saying if somebody's got 400 hours,
That's where it stops.
that's the stop, but
That's the
so
stop.
when it comes in the year, they don't get no more vacation.
That's
time.
right. They're not gonna get any
It's
more
gonna stop.
until they
It's
use
got
some of that
to be
time. So if they get that door of 400 and they're locked, if they used a 40-hour week, they would begin earning back their 40 hours through payroll. That's just where it would lock up, is when they hit their maximum number of hours. And as you see, the length of time of service with the county defines how much time they're allowed to dock or bank, or however you want to word it, or maintain.
Some of my husband's is, he is only allowed to accrue so much, he never uses his, he doesn't accrue it anymore.
Yeah,
But he's only allowed to bank so much, and then
yeah, that's kind of
that's
the way
just
it is
pretty
in
much every
most
place I've
places.
ever been, that's
Most
how it
places
works.
I've ever worked, that's the way it's always been as well.
So,
Been here forever, Pat, what do you mean every place you've been?
I'm gonna take that as I'm really young, Preston, okay?
so we do this, somebody wants to take off, they can't use admin if they got this time?
The admin leave, I'm told, is at the discretion of the elected official per office.
But why would you wanna use that
But
leave
that's
if
what
your
I was just
employee
saying.
has it?
But if the employee uses admin leave, instead of using their time off and they're locked up in their max, they're not gonna earn anymore, so they're gonna wanna use their time,
Yeah.
because they might not keep earning their time. So it would kinda assist with the admin leave usage as well. Now, I do think the admin leave on a bad weather day, that kind of circumstance,
Yeah.
whenever the judge deems worthy of closing the courthouse for bad weather or purposes such as that, I think that should fall into an admin leave, without, penalizing the employee to utilize their time. But that, I think, should be the only exception.
Well, there's a lot of times when it snows, it's real icy,
Yeah,
we don't want our guys with a county truck on the road.
correct, that's a safety issue.
So instead of them having to use their time here, we can just call it admin.
Yeah, but that's your call.
That's
Well,
your
that would be
call,
my
That's your call.
because I
that
told
is
the
your
state.
Yeah,
call,
that-
as
that's-
the elected official of
Your
that
office, your
department.
call.
That's your office, your call.
I think this will work pretty good, I'm gonna make a motion to approve it.
But let's go into that motion though, because if we make the motion, let's make the motion that admin stays with the official and that 6 months be added in before they start receiving this benefit. They have to
and
be
it's like-
an active employee for the county for 6 months.
6 months.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you've got that wrote up like that. right?
Yeah, I will have that written in a formal, similar to like what our old handbook, which is on your page 2 of that. I'm gonna write that up in this and
It'll
include
be
it
outlined
in,
for the handbook.
and it'll be outlined in the handbook in that formal way.
Do we need
And
to
then,
get that in writing before we approve it, or?
We can approve it this way and then she can add it to the handbook.
and the employee handbook, which I hope to
And
produce
I'll,
to you
and
gentlemen
I'll
next
attach
month.
that, when she gets it typed up, I'll attach that to the minutes.
Okay.
I always attach all that stuff to the minutes, so it's exactly.
So if that's what your motion is,
My
I'll
motion.
second it.
All right, have a motion and a second, all in favor? That motion carried.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, item number 9, resolution for a joint primary, Ms. Thompson.
Okay, every 2 years, we have the primaries every, I'm assuming that. And the Commissioners Court has to approve having a joint primary with the Republican and Democratic Party. We've done it for 25 years now. So I just need, court approval to do that. Johnny Howe will be here later today to sign her part of it, and we don't have a Democratic chairman right now, but I'm gonna send it to the state party and they'll sign their part. And I need y'all
Motion
to,
approved. Second.
okay.
Motion second, all in favor? Yes, motion carried. Item number 10, I don't know if y'all got a copy of this at your desk. It's information only, it's sexual assault response team.
Yeah, it's in here.
Okay. Has to be on all 3 court agendas for them to get funding. Gateway Family Services, if you're interested in numbers, for sexual assault victims, worked in 22 and 23. Nolan County had 27. Mitchell County had 13, and Fisher County had 5. Alright, we'll move to item number 11. Approve transfer of 2015 Chevrolet pickup with the VIN number from the Sheriff's Department to precinct 2.
I don't know, Dexter, I was thinking I might want that pickup.
I'm gonna make the motion to approve that.
I'll second it.
Alright, have a motion in a second. All in favor? Motion carried.
It's worth a shot.
Alright, item number 12, approve Sean Willingham donation of materials from his land, County Road 463. Devin?
Landowner Sean Willingham met with my foreman and they looked at the material he has on his land right there on the right beside 463. He's willing to donate the material to fix the giant potholes there that the oil field field is knocked out, cause it's almost right in Scranton, 463, on the south side of 180, which is about 15 miles or more from the precinct barn. It'd save us a lot of money, and the only thing he said in it is that, we can only use the material we pull off his place to fix that road. Just asking for approval. to
I'll
use
make
that
a motion
material.
to approve it.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 13, approve Mortensen donation of material from New Yard located on FM 1606, County Road 453, Mr. Evans.
We had a wind tower project that's going on the southwest part of my precinct. They finished the rephasing of the wind towers down there. I went and got it with Mortensen and RWE, checked the roads. They did their compliance on the roads. They had a yard that was set up on the south side of 1606, close to County Road, or right on County Road 453. They're ripping the material up off that yard, which was a lot of good bleaching material. Scurry County's getting half of it, and they were trying to give me the other half. I was asking for approval to accept that material.
Do you know how many yards
I'll make the
they're gonna
motion.
give you?
I don't know how many yards yet. They just asked to get approval for the push up on the material on it.
But they're gonna push it up.
They're pushing it up, not us.
Just under, way some things that went up here the last couple of years, I sure would like to see
What-
something right on how many yards.
Once-
You know?
And what I can do on it is, before we actually accept it, that once they do get it pushed up on that yard, you can kind of get more of a writing on what the amount of yards on the material is.
So I'll approve it, or I'll move to approve it.
All right, I think Gordon made the motion, do I have a second?
I'll second it then.
All right.
All in favor?
Unanimous, motion carries. Item number 14, Appraisal District Board, want to, how we wanna do our vote?
Judge, I had to sustain on, or not on this one, sorry.
All right, one abstention. We have 1,246 votes. So, don't have anybody here on there, if y'all wanna distribute them accordingly like we did last time.
Split them equally. That's what we did last time. I'll make a motion to split them equally between all of them.
I'll second it.
Motion second, all in favor? Motion carries. All right, item number 15, approve 3 road agreement crossings, County Road 312, 337, and 339 from Gunn Oil Company.
We don't have anybody here from Gunn today, I guess. I've been, seeing some activity going on out there. I've been driving that road every day trying to see what's going on. And anyway, finally on a Saturday evening, I finally caught somebody out there a week or so ago. And, I shut them down from crossing that road because they didn't have a permit. Well, I talked to them several times this week and they said they did come in and get the 3 permits, but, they were planning on crossing our roads again without any permits, so here they are. Was there a check in there with that, Joy? I didn't see checks in that email on these.
Yes, I have the checks.
They usually get the email with the permit, shows a check, and they overlooked them, but I didn't see them this time, but.
Yes, I do have the checks for each one of them, yes. They brought in the permits, they brought in the
They
checks,
didn't, they
and,
were doing the ditching, but I did tell them,
You didn't.
see, not crossing this road without seeing a permit. I stopped and asked for a permit, they couldn't produce it, and they said, no, they didn't realize it, what they said, that they needed a permit.
And checks are in? You said?
yes, I have the checks at my desk waiting for the copies of all this so I can put everything together. And they were also told that they need to call you and give you the 48 hours notice before doing anything.
Okay, I'll make the motion to approve it then.
I'll second.
Motion second, all in favor? Motion carries. Item number 16, approve ARPA funds to build pavilion for rodeo association. Mr. Gibson is not here.
Judge, this one I've got to sustain from for conflict of interest.
Y'all have copies of
we, if you don't mind us going in. That's the same.
Good morning, y'all. I'm here to speak for the Fisher County Fair and Rodeo Association. As y'all are aware, the existing structure known as the Pink Building, we have plans to demo that. And we're here to ask for some assistance and funding to build a covered pavilion over that area with the existing ARPA funds. So we were wanting to present this so you guys can consider that.
So we'll be using the existing concrete there and put it on top of where the existing concrete is?
Yes, sir.
That's a lot of money right there.
Yes, sir.
And on the labor, do y'all have somebody that can do the labor, or if we come up with the materials, or?
We were gonna try to get over this first to get the material, and then I do have a gentleman here with me to answer some questions on construction if y'all have questions.
So this is just for the material costs?
Yes, sir.
Does it include all the doors and everything?
There won't be any sides to it, it's just a cover.
Just a cover?
Yes,
Sort of
sir.
like the one in Rotan,
Yeah.
rodeo ground?
Wow. Well, we already got the slab and stuff here. Can we do that separately, just as far as the labor separate than from this? Otherwise, we'll have to have a bid vote for it.
What? I'm sorry.
Is there another bid besides this?
No, this is just material bid, this don't cover any labor.
Yeah, and especially with it being the ARPA funds, if it's over 50, we'll have to advertise it and all that.
You have to have 3 estimates too on the little
Yes,
50.
sir, yes.
Yeah,
Since these materials are under 50,000, I believe it's 47.6. That's why we only.
but I don't know if we can do it separately, that's what I was asking. With ARPA money, is there real restrict on everything, the way they do things?
If we have to pay for labor, if they can come with the labor, we might consider
Yeah,
this now,
if we
though.
can figure that out.
What they'd talked about
You're
originally.
just asking for material, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
so we're okay, I think.
So he just here with the association asking for it.
Right.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
I now I got you.
Is that right, you understand, or? they're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
pay for the labor,
because
or
on
we're gonna have
that,
to have the
what they talked about in the meeting Monday was that the ones wanted to put this forward for the materials for the building was that if the materials got bought and the association would put forth the labor, kinda like what was done with the county show
Show
barn,
barn.
where y'all approved funding for material for that, and then people came up and donated time and stuff to put it together. Because one of the biggest things on like the Pink Building, for instance, is used to the way the Pink Building was originally set up. 4-H and the county show, all the county events were held in the Pink Building. Well, with the state of the Pink Building now, everything got pushed up here to the courthouse, and it's been a lot of headache for a lot of people having stuff up here. By getting a building set up, you can always add on to a building being there to get more county events back down there, because it is on county property where that's at. It's kinda like what they did at Rotan with
Right.
the pavilion.
It's
They
still on
set
city
it up
sewer
for
too,
county
right?
stuff.
It's on city sewer down there, isn't it? So you could actually add a bathroom in there.
Yeah.
Which would need to be done.
It originally did, we had too many problems originally, the old committee with the bathrooms down there, that's why they took them out of commission.
I feel like it'll be good for the community to do it myself, so
I do too, if they can come up with labor, I think it would help the
that's what they did on the
whole
other
community,
building.
it sure help over here.
I'm gonna make a motion to approve it, to pay it out of the ARPA fund.
I'll second that motion.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries with one abstention.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Alright, moving on. Item number 17, discuss and approve one of 3 bids for handheld motor
gentlemen, this is a agenda item that we had discussed last month. This time I provided you 3 bids, all the exact same radios, a bid for 6, 9, and 12, so you can see how those are broken down to include programming.
Pleasure of the court, any questions?
How many do you need? I guess this should be the question asked to start with. So, let's regroup on it. For what you had on hand for deputies, if you're fully staffed, how many radios do you need for deputies fully staffed? 6 total.
Yes, sir.
That's with no spares or,
No spares.
now, you originally asked for 12 within there, correct?
I did, I originally
Last
asked for
month.
12. My intent is to obviously hire and fully man the law enforcement center as soon as possible. Having said that, with the Lubbock contract that was approved, as soon as possible, I'm gonna have weapons and transport certified detention officers that are escort inmates throughout Fisher County to do cleanup details. The reason I'm telling you all of that is because at that point in time, when they're out along the road picking up trash or cleaning up around the courthouse, I'd like those detention officers to have a direct link back to dispatch. So that's why I asked for more than 6. I only have 6 certified law
Now, with
enforcement.
9, you could make do on all of that for a period of time. to
I
be honest.
could, and the other consideration is, we have a memorandum of agreement with the Rotan School District. Royce Bell is their officer, and we provide dispatch and all that for him. So I will be providing him one of these radios for communication and officer safety.
So
and continuity.
proposed, I mean, if we do 6, it's immediate, if one goes down, there's not one, but if we were to do 9 in there,
I would
you've
have a
got-
spare,
you've
yes,
got
sir.
2 spares, honestly.
I
That
would.
could be used for the jail stuff.
Yes, sir.
And this would cover any area they're in as far as dispatching, as far as the other radios hitting the repeaters and everything else.
Yes, sir. So you'll notice these bids are directly from West Texas Communications. They're all Motorola radios. And Louis Bergman and Dan Gerard, the technical specialist, that I think you guys recognize those names. I believe they've been doing business with us for a long time. They're actually really smart with communication. And long story short, I said, listen, I don't need the most expensive high-speed radio. They've got some really expensive stuff out there that connects to satellite or cell phone towers and stuff. I said, I need a radio that is going to work in Fisher County. That is it. You know, I have a deputy responding in a vehicle. He's talking on that radio in the truck, no problem. I'll use an example just the day before yesterday. We went down to the Longworth curve, another 18-wheeler jackknifed and pushed his way through the fence. Well, as soon as we get on scene as a deputy, first thing you wanna do is make sure that everyone is safe if we need an ambulance or whatever. When you jump out of that truck, the only thing you got is your cell phone. So these radios are critical to communication and officer safety. What they've been doing in the past is using their personal cell phones. Obviously, you guys have approved us getting, all the deputies now have government cell phones, FirstNet, first responder phones, which is significantly improving our abilities.
What's the pleasure of the court?
I'll make a motion if we're gonna do this, that we go to use the 9 radios, because I do think the communication is an important process of what they do. Because the minute they exit that vehicle, I know from personal experience, they have no communication. No communication can be very harmful to any law enforcement officer, peacekeeper.
Which one did you say?
The 9,
Is this just Motorola?
there's 3 different ones here, there's a 6, a 9, and a 12 bid.
But they're
It's
all
the
from
same thing,
Motorola?
it's just at 9, and that, the reason for the 9 is like we asked a while ago, is if we do 6, that's immediate 6, so if you have one go down, you have no spares, and if we gotta provide another one, we're still lacking one. Where we could have 2 spares that the jail could potentially use later, once they're reinstated.
I don't have a problem with it, but there's no way we could, like share their radios, they're not on duty, does everybody have to have a radio, they're not on duty, leave it there, when they come on duty, pick it
Well,
up,
that,
and
if
then
you
go out.
kinda fell within that would cover the needs of all, because originally they were asking for the 12 to give everybody. So if you did the 9, the ones not on duty, they could be used there, and that would cover the others on the jail.
Say the $6. Yeah, I don't have a problem getting
Yeah,
that.
but I would say, like, when we're fighting fires, we need a radio on that machine.
We do.
So if they could provide us with one when we're there, whoever's on the machine can have it, because you can't talk on the cell phone and.
Cause this goes back into your coordination with all the emergency
You
response.
can't communicate with the fire department, nobody else, you're out there on a radar by yourself or a dozer or whatever, you can't communicate with the sheriff's department or the fire department or anybody, you're stuck out there.
Yeah, if that guy in that maintainer gets in a situation where he's in trouble, he can't call nobody.
Yes, sir. So I understand, not to go too far off on a tangent, I understand the commissioners, you guys obviously have your own frequency and radios as well. Something you'll notice in this bid that I'd like to bring your attention to is these radios, they'll come with your external handheld mic and then your earpiece and stuff as well, which would be a game changer for anybody operating heavy equipment. You're not gonna hear that handheld if it's hanging on your vest or something like that.
But that would be within, like if we did the 9, if you've got ones up here at the jail, they don't need it during an emergency response like
No,
that, so that's where we need to, what Gordon's asking for, it be given out to whichever precinct is working
Yeah,
in
we'll just give
fire.
it back to you
response.
when it's done, because all these accessories here with the holster and all this comes
Yes, sir,
with that
this is,
price, that's the whole ballpark.
yes, sir. So, and then the line item that's not specifically on there, it's the last page in that group is the programming. These high-speed radios take some special programming and, that is $125 a radio. But yes, to answer your question, yes, sir, belt clip, all of this stuff is in here.
I'd like the motion to go with the 9. It'll be the 18,000.
I made the motion, I need a second on it.
18,370, 329.76, is that what yours?
The 23, 149, 44, it's on the front page.
Oh, I got you, I was looking at the other pages.
Can I ask a question, is that just for the radios and not the programming?
No, that is radios and programming.
That's everything on
Okay,
it.
I just wanna make sure I have.
Because that's what he said, it's a line item within
Okay,
there.
Yes,
just wanna
ma'am.
make sure.
I'm gonna second that.
Okay, it is.
All right, got a second.
I'm gonna vote for it.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor? Unanimous, that
All right,
motion.
thank you. And we are at 9 radios, right, guys?
9 radios.
All right, just wanna double check, 'cause we,
23,149,
okay, all
44.
right, that's what I got.
Thank you.
Item number 19, approve new intergovernmental agreement between Surrey and the official regarding housing and inmates.
Gentlemen, this is it's a new contract, it's that time of year, and I will tell you, the change in it is our cost. It's $60 a night per inmate down there in Scurry County.
What was it before? I thought
It was, I believe it was 40, it was it was a little bit higher. And don't quote me on that 40, sir, I understand.
Yeah, I thought it was 60.
Was 55 or 60?
I don't think it's
before?
55.
55, maybe, yeah.
I thought it was.
I apologize, I don't have the old contract with me, I only brought this new one, and I know the price went up. It did increase to $60 a day, so whether it was 30 or 55, I can get that answer back to you, I apologize.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second it.
Thank you, sir.
All in favor? Motion carried.
We don't have a choice.
That's all I have.